Hey y'all, it's Rick with Responder Support Services, and today we're starting a new video series. And the video series is kind of exploring what options we have for emergency services personnel who might need that higher level of care. So we're going to be talking in this series with different providers of inpatient behavioral health care and what that care looks like and how it's tailored to first responders. And my first victim in the series today with me is Alex Minas, and he's with FHE Healthcare, and they have a program called Shatterproof. So we're going to learn more about that today. So Alex, thanks for being with me today. And so first, can you kind of give me the name of your program again and let us know where that's located?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thanks, Rick. So I am with FHE Health, and the program for first responders is called Shatterproof, and that's located down in Deerfield Beach. So I'll kind of point you, if you fly into Fort Lauderdale, you're going north about 20 minutes, and we border with Boca Raton. So just for people to kind of get that geographically.
Sure. So that's a pretty desirable location. It must be a draw for responders to go somewhere.
Well, we joke this time of year, right? Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the first question I have is the program first responder friendly, or does it have a true first responder track?
Yeah, absolutely. And even when we use that word, Rick, so even just so folks, if we can clarify right as much as possible. So this is a very distinct program, for us. So when we talk about, not as easy to talk about in terms of like our the facility. So there still is general population right on a campus. There's both an inpatient side of the campus and an outpatient side of the campus, to where when, probably one of the questions will be about, hey, if it's inpatient and the need for things like medical detox, those services are available. But then on our outpatient side of the campus where Shatterproof is housed, it's like that is a distinct program. So distinct staff, right? So the clinical staff, the peer staff, the building where groups are held, where individual therapy sessions are held, and then what I would like to call our wellness center that is being expanded in two phases. And, we can even cover some of that, where specific building just for first responders, a fitness center that's being expanded currently as well. So when we talk about, very passionately about a first responder program, this is, if somebody came today to Shatterproof, they would be joining 35 of their brothers and sisters in the first responder field. And that could come from anywhere from the Northeast, Chicago, and departments in the Southeast, North Carolina, as we know it.
Okay. So it's really a first responder program, not even a first responder track, with its own buildings and its own clinicians, and that's dedicated to treating that population. Describe how your staff are more familiar with the first responder culture than other staff at these centers might be. So tell us a little about that.
The primary therapist and peers have all served in a first responder capacity. So these are the folks that, typically I always say we're kind of looking for unicorns, right? And a unicorn in the sense of, hey, a lot of times, you and I know, I don't want to get too far off track, but even when we're looking for help upon discharge and things like that, it's like, hey, where's the unicorn? Someone that was a first responder that's also a licensed therapist, clinician, and we're lucky to have quite a few of those.
So it sounds like the majority of your staff have that intimate knowledge of that culture. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
A question we'll hear from folks that we're helping in this situation is the family included in treatment, even if the family's out of state?
Yeah, absolutely. So, disclosure, there's been this global pandemic that has some of the things that we used to do on the family side have not been as robust now because of COVID, and we're talking in person. So what we do now is typically very early on, once we get a first responder, whether it's a spouse, family member, whoever is in the dynamic, it could be a clinician, it could be the EAP, right? So we try to do a really good job up front of understanding who all needs to be involved, to get the release of information, those sorts of things, so that all that continuity of care can happen. Because again, we know that, in a lot of cases, the spouse is still at home. Maybe there's still kids in the dynamic and those sorts of things.
And how well does Shatterproof work with insurance?
Yeah, really well, right? You don't want someone to come get the help that they really need and then home to a financial burden.
Right.
It just reset off everything else, right? So these are all conversations that we certainly have, even on the front end and figuring out what the benefits look like.
Exactly. And so you'll direct anybody has that need, you'll direct those to those resources for
Absolutely.
that. Great. Glad to hear. I always felt that money was the worst reason in the world to not get help. So if someone has watched this video and they feel that FHE and Shatterproof is the right fit for them, how would they get in touch and learn more about your program?
Yeah, absolutely. I always say first and foremost, reach out to me. So however we get my personal contact, personal cell phone, that we can further answer questions. And so I can help guide you, right? Kind of from cradle to grave, in essence of the process, making family members aware, answering the questions, doing all those sorts of things.
So it sounds like there's just kind of that guidance from initial inquiry to discharge. It's guided the whole way through. So excellent. And we'll put the contact information to your programs in the description of this video, and folks will have access to that. Alex, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit here and be interviewed by me today and tell folks about your program, and hopefully a number will listen to it that have that need and feel that it's a fit for them. So I appreciate that very much. I appreciate what you're doing for our first responders at your program in Florida. Thank you all for watching this video. If you have questions about FHE and Shatterproof, feel free to use the information provided in the description of this video and contact them and get all your questions answered. So thank you for watching. If you need anything from RSS, you can contact us at 828-333-5708. Thank you.